Thank you for standing by, and welcome to the Li Auto Inc. fourth quarter and full year 2022 earnings conference call. All participants are in a listen-only mode. There will be a presentation followed by a question-and-answer session. If you wish to ask a question, you will need to press the star key followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. I would now like to hand the conference over to Ms. Janet Zhang, Li Auto IR Director. Please go ahead.
Thank you, operator. Good evening and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Li Auto's fourth quarter and full year 2022 earnings conference call. The company's financial and operating results were published in the press release earlier today and are posted on the company's IR website. On today's call, we have our founder, chairman, and CEO, Mr. Xiang Li, and our CFO, Mr. Johnny Tie Li, begin with prepared remarks. Our president, Mr. Donghui Ma, and our CTO, Mr. Yan Xie, will join for the Q&A discussion. Before I continue, please be reminded that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the safe harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding risks and uncertainties is included in certain company filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that Li Auto's earnings press release and this conference call include discussions of unaudited GAAP financial information as well as unaudited non-GAAP financial matters. Please refer to Li Auto's disclosure documents on the IR section of our website, which contain a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to comparable GAAP measures. Our CFO will start the remarks in Chinese for about 5 minutes. There will be English translation follows after he finish all his remarks. With that, I will now turn the call over to our CEO, Mr. Xiang Li. Please go ahead.
大家好，欢迎各位参加今天的业绩电话会议。2022年，中国新能源汽车市场继续呈现爆发式增长，越来越多的客户青睐于新能源汽车。根据中国乘联会数据，2022年4季度，新能源汽车渗透率提升到 31.7%。这一数据在2021年和2022年3季度分别是 14.8% 和 29%。在此背景下，我们持续成长，在过去不到1年的时间里，连续推出理想 L9、L8、L7 3款车型，丰富产品矩阵，实现了对30万到50万家庭 SUV 市场的全面覆盖，并进一步巩固了我们在这个市场的领先地位。同时，我们全面加强研发、供应链、销售服务的能力，我们全面升级公司的业务流程和组织架构，为公司从1到10的阶段规模扩张做好了准备。关于交付量，2022年12月，我们的交付量超过2万，再次创下了中国造车新势力的历史新高，然后为2023年的发展奠定了坚实的基础。自2022年9月以来，理想 L9 持续领跑中国大型 SUV 月销量的排行榜。同时，理想 R8 也接替理想 ONE 的销量奇迹，于2022年12月摘得中大型 SUV 的销量冠军。2022年4季度，我们总共交付了46319辆新车。2022年全年交付了133,246辆。根据中期原上险量的数据，理想汽车在2022年12月，中国30至50万 SUV 车型以及30至50万新能源汽车都是销量排行的第1名，成为家庭首选的豪华 SUV。今年1季度，汽车行业传统的销售淡季，我们的订单依然非常强劲，充分体现了理想汽车的产品服务的竞争力。我们借此机会也由衷的感谢所有家庭用户一路以来的信任和支持。公司4季度收入达到了176.5亿元人民币，同比增长 66.2%。2022年全年总收入达到了452.9亿元人民币，同比增长 67.7%。得益于我们的 成本控制和经营质量。四季度的毛利率依然保持稳健，为 20.2%， 自由现金流达到了 32.6 亿元人民币。关于产品，我们在2月8日正式发布了家庭5座旗舰 SUV 理想 L7， 并于次日开启试驾。理想 L7 拥有卓越的2排空间和舒适性以及众多旗舰级的配置，搭载了我们自研的4驱增程电动系统，在 LTC 综合续航里程达到了1315公里，100公里加速仅需要 5.3秒。理想 L7 严格按照中保研双侧 25%小偏置碰撞最好的成绩剂进行了研发，还拥有持续成长的智能空间和智能驾驶。理想 L7 共有 Air、Pro、Max 3款车型，并对30至40万的价格区间进行了全面的覆盖。我们也同时推出了理想 L8L， 把理想 ONE 之前所在的6座的30至35万价格区间进行了有效的覆盖。我们会在3月初开启 L7 Pro 和 Max 的交付， L7L 和 L8L 将在今年的4月初开启交付。随着这些产品和配置的推出，理想 L7、L8、L9 的产品线对于30到50万 SUV 市场的布局全面完成。理想 L7 发布会后，更多的用户认识了理想汽车。不仅理想 L7 收到了试驾用户的热烈反馈，我们的门店也迎来了更多元的家庭用户，同时也推高了理想 L8 的关注度和订单量。12月16日，理想 L9 荣获了第10届星源奖中国年度汽车的大奖。星源奖是由中国汽车评论杂志联合奥地利 EFS 汽车企业咨询公司共同打造，被誉为中国汽车界的奥斯卡。2023年第一季度的业绩展望，考虑到理想 L8 和理想 L9 持续强劲的表现，以及理想 L7 的推出，我们今年将挑战在30万到50万价格区间的全部豪华 SUV 市场拿下 20% 的市场份额。我们预计一季度的交付量在52000辆到55000辆之间。关于供应链，尽管供应链挑战持续存在，理想 L9 和 L8 在交付的首个完整月分别双双突破1万辆，这离不开理想汽车供应商合作伙伴的支持，也体现了我们较为扎实的供应链管理和协同能力。随着产业成熟度的逐步提升和上下游供给情况的逐步改善，我们对2023年的零部件供应保持信心，同时也进一步加强供应链战略感知与规划、风险管理及成本管理，以及积极应对各自潜在的供应挑战和风险。理想汽车对供应链实行模块化管理，在与供应商保持紧密互惠合作的同时，也积极加强智能电动车产品力相关的核心品类的自研自制和产业链垂直整合工作，进而实现上游成本和风险控制的良好平衡。在过去3年，公司已经开始对增程器、电驱动总成等核心零部件进行工厂的自建，保障质量和供应的稳定。关于销售网络，在2022年第4季度，我们持续加强直营销售和服务网络的建设，提升用户触达和品牌的知名度，强化我们的商业能力，推动销量的快速增长。截止2023年1月31日，理想汽车在全国已经有296家零售中心，覆盖123个城市，售后维修中心及授权板分中心320家，覆盖222个城市。在去年，我们在不断拓展销售网络的同时，也专注于零售中心的规模升级店面来支撑多车型的摆放，把更多的产品展示给更多的家庭。在接下来的几个季度，随着我们品牌势能的增强，综合类的门店也是我们的一种重要选择。经过3年多的商业验证，用户体验更好、销售费用率更低的直营体系是我们作为高端品牌定位要坚持的长期选择。2022年，我们的销售费用率已经低于了研发费用率。2023年，我们将继续改善销售费用率在收入里的占比。关于研发一直是我们为家庭用户创造价值的核心。出色的研发能力不仅让我们在新能源汽车市场脱颖而出，最终也将使我们成为全球领先的智能科技企业。2022年，我们在研发方面的投入取得了重要进展。在电驱动方面，我们在理想 L 系列上搭载的 全新一代的增程电动系统 2.0， 我们自主研发了 1.5T 自缸增程器，热效率超过了 40.5%， 配合自主研发的5合1电驱动系统，实现了增程系统的 NVH 大幅优化。我们自研并掌握了软硬件核心技术的理想魔毯空气悬架，实现了家用 SUV 的乘坐舒适性和操控稳定性的融合。其中自研的 XCU 中央域控制器可以高速处理复杂的车辆信息，实现对车辆毫秒级的精准控制。智能空间在持续进化，理想同学目前已经进化到全新一代的端云一体结构，并已经在 L 系列的全部车型开始上线，集成了我们自研的面向车载场景的推理引擎 LISA-RT， 可支持更强更复杂的算法在车内部署。此外，我们的自研算法在语音和视觉交互方面进展卓越。在语音层面，创新的 MIMO-NET 算法能够实现多音区人声的准确分离，结合自研的语音识别算法 MSE-NET， 理想同学在实车测试场景下的唤醒率分别提升至 98%。面对行业里更具挑战的高噪音，然后小声说和儿童说3个重要的场景，理想同学的唤醒率及准确识别率高达 90% 以上。在视觉方面，基于自研的 MVS-NET 算法可实现对全车乘客手势动作的精准识别，再结合创新的手势唤醒技术，让手势交互的使用更自由更自然，让全家人一起享受隔空触控的超能力的快乐。智能驾驶方面，我们联合清华大学和 MIT 提出的混合式 BEV 算法框架，可以灵活地部署在 AD Max 和 AD Pro 2套传感器硬件组合上。我们自研的高速 NAO 预测算法提供了舒适的自动变道和加减速体验。目前超过22万家庭用户可以使用高速 NA 功能。高速 NOA 导航辅助驾驶里程接近1亿公里，仅在2023年春节的1周时间内，所有的车型高速 NO 行驶里程已经接近了800万公里。今年我们也将进一步把导航辅助驾驶的能力扩展到城市场景，计划在第4季度将在理想 AD Max 上开放城市 NOA 的早鸟用户测试。此外，我们自研的 AEB 算法在 AD Max 上增加了激光雷达的应用，开创了行业首个融合激光雷达的 AEB 功能，把激光雷达算法的安全场景从车辆、汽车人、行人等主要交通参与者拓展到包含1型车在内的不规则障碍物以及夜间场景。展望未来，我们将继续并行增程电动和高压纯电核心技术的全栈自研，持续提升产品的智能化水平，在产品研发、平台研发和系统研发持续投入资源，推动理想汽车的长期成长。最后，我们的长期成功取决于我们对研发和业务能力的不断投入，以及我们打造新的爆款车型，强化品牌价值，持续增强飞轮效应。2023年将是新能源汽车行业，尤其是理想汽车高速发展的又一年。我们坚信，理想汽车坚持创新和多样化的产品矩阵，将不断超越用户需求，打造最卓越的产品和服务。
Hi everyone, and thank you for joining our call today. 2022 was another year of explosive growth for new energy vehicles in China, as more consumers embrace NEVs. According to the China Passenger Car Association, the penetration rate of new energy passenger vehicles reached 31.7% in Q4 2022, compared to 14.8% in 2021 and 29.0% in Q3 2022. Our business continued to grow rapidly. In less than a year, we launched 3 new models, L9, L8, and L7, fully covering the family SUV market between RMB 300,000 and 500,000. These launches further solidified our market leadership. In the meantime, we continue to fortify our foundations across R&D, supply chain, and sales and service networks. We've upgraded our overall business processes and org structure to prepare for ourselves in the 1 to 10 stage. Next, moving on to deliveries and recent updates. In December 2022, we delivered more than 20,000 vehicles, setting another record not only for ourselves, but also all emerging automakers in China, putting us in a very good position for 2023. While the L9 has been dominating the full-size SUV monthly sales chart in China ever since its release in September, Li L8 continued Li 1's sales success, becoming the top seller of all large SUVs in December 2022. We delivered 46,319 new vehicles in Q4 2022, and 2022 annual deliveries reached 133,246 units. In December 2022, according to the insurance registration data from Chinese Automotive Technology Research Center, we ranked first in both the SUV and NEV markets in the price range of 300,000 RMB to 500,000 RMB, establishing ourselves as one of the go-to brands for all premium SUV shoppers. Furthermore, in the first quarter, a typical off-season for vehicle sales, we maintained strong order intake, showcasing the competitiveness of our products and services. I would like to hereby thank all of our users and their families for their trust and support along the way. Our revenues reached RMB 17.65 billion in Q4 and 45.29 billion for the full year 2022, up 66.2% and 67.7% year-on-year respectively. With our cost management capability and operation efficiency, we maintained a healthy gross margin of 20.2% and free cash flow of 3.26 billion RMB in Q4 2022. Moving on to our product lineup. On February 8th, we officially launched Li L7, our 5-seat flagship family SUV, with test drive starting the day after. Li L7 features exceptional second row space, a comfortable interior, and a long list of standard features. Equipped with our in-house developed all-wheel drive range extension system, the L7 has a CLTC range of 1,315 kilometers and 0 to 100 kilometers per hour acceleration in 5.3 seconds. L7 is developed with a G rating, the highest possible rating in the CACI 25% small overlap crash test for both the driver and passenger side. It also features the constantly evolving smart space infotainment system and our driver assistance system. Li L7 is available in 3 trim levels, Air, Pro, and Max, fully covering the 300 to 400,000 RMB price range. Alongside the L7 release, we also released an Air model to our L8 lineup, which succeeded Li 1 in the same segment, which covers the 300 to 350,000 RMB price range. We will commence deliveries of Li L7 Pro and Max in early March, and delivery of Li L7 Air and L8 Air will start in early April this year. With the introductions of these new models, we have completed the deployment of L7, L8, and L9 for the entire 300 to 500 RMB, 1,000 RMB SUV market. The L7 also allowed us to reach a broader audience base. The L7 not only received raving reviews from customer test drives, but also brought in more diverse family users into our stores, which further led to new leads and orders for the L8. On December 16th, the L9 was awarded the Car of the Year in the 10th Shenyang Award. It is organized by the Auto Business Review and Austria-based EFS Consulting. The Shenyang Award is widely regarded as the Academy Award in the Chinese auto industry. With Li L8 and L9 continued strong performance and the addition of L7 to our family, we will set ourselves a stretch goal of 20% market share in the 300 to 500,000 RMB premium SUV segment this year. Against this backdrop, we expect first quarter deliveries to be in the range of 52,000 to 55,000 units. Next, on to supply chain. Despite continued supply chain challenges, our deliveries for both L9 and L8 exceeded 10,000 units in their first full month of delivery. This was only possible with the support of our suppliers, and this was also a testament to our solid supply chain management capabilities. We remain confident of our part supply in 2023 as we further improve our planning, risk management, and cost management capabilities to cope with potential challenges and risks. We take a modularized approach to supply chain management. While we work closely with our supplier base, we have also strategically identified core areas for in-house development and vertical integration in order to strike a good balance between cost and risk. Over the past 3 years, we have been deploying a series of manufacturing facilities in the range extender and electric drive unit. Next, moving on to the sales network. In Q4 2022, we continued to strengthen our direct sales and services network and to increase our user outreach and brand awareness in order to bolster our commercial capabilities and drive growth. As of January 31st, 2023, we operated 296 retail stores covering 123 cities, as well as 320 service centers and Li Auto authorized body shops in 222 cities. In 2022, while expanding our sales network, we focused on upgrading our existing retail stores to house multiple models in order to reach more different types of families. In the coming quarters, as our brand continues to gain momentum, we will have more multifunction stores in our sales network. After more than 3 years of operation, the direct sales model has proven to provide better user experience and at a lower cost, which will remain our long-term commitment as a premium car brand. In 2022, our SG&A expenses were already lower than our R&D expenses, and we expect to further reduce our selling expenses as a percentage of revenue in 2023. In terms of R&D, it has always been a cornerstone of our value creation process for family users. Excellent user research and development capabilities have not only allowed us to stand out in the NEV market, but also will ultimately allow us to emerge as a world-class tech company. In 2022, we made great strides in research and development. On the electric drive units, our L series vehicles are powered by our in-house all-new range extension 2.0 system, with our 1.5-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine boasting a maximum thermal efficiency of 40.5%, and coupled with our proprietary 5-in-1 drive unit, has significantly enhanced the overall noise, vibration, and harshness performance. Supported by our proprietary hardware and software, the Li Magic Carpet Air suspension provides top-notch ride and handling, and in particular, our own XCU vehicle controller is capable of handling complex vehicle information at high speed, enabling millisecond-grade vehicle control. Our smart space continues to evolve. Li Xiang, for instance, has evolved with a new generation device cloud integrated architecture and has been rolled out to all of our L series models. Featuring our in-house inference engine for in-car scenarios, Lisa RT, it provides solid foundation for the in-car deployment of more powerful and complex algorithms. Moreover, we have made remarkable progress in the voice and vision-based interaction algorithms. On the speech side, with our innovative MimoNet algorithm that can accurately isolate different human voices in multiple zones. With our voice recognition algorithm, MSENet, Li Xiang's activation and recognition accuracy both reached 98% in real-world testing. These rates remain at over 90% in various demanding scenarios, including high noise, low voices, and children's voices. On the vision side, our MVSNet algorithm can accurately recognize gestures of all occupants. Combined with innovative summon by gesture technology, it makes interaction through gestures easier and more natural, allowing the whole family to enjoy the superpower of making contact and taking control over the air. In terms of autonomous driving, we adopted the Fusion BEV algorithm framework jointly proposed by Tsinghua University, MIT, and us, which can be flexibly deployed with the AD Max and AD Pro's different hardware configuration. Our in-house highway NOA prediction algorithm enables organic automated lane change and a smooth acceleration and deceleration experience. As of now, over 220,000 family users have used our highway NOA features, covering 100 million kilometers of distance. During the 2023 Chinese New Year holiday alone, our highway NOA mileage of all models reached almost 8 million kilometers. This year, we'll further expand our NOA features into urban driving scenarios, with beta testing for early bird users planned on Li AD Max in the first quarter of this year. In addition, we created the industry's first AEB function with LiDAR applications on Li AD Max and expanded the LiDAR's algorithm safety scenarios for major traffic participants such as vehicles, cyclists, and pedestrians to cover irregular scenarios, including special vehicles as well as night driving scenes. Going forward, we will continue to focus on developing our core EREV and BEV technologies in-house and further elevating our product's level intelligence. To that end, we will consistently direct our R&D resources across products, platforms, and systems to fuel our long-term growth. In summary, we view our long-term success as a function of our continued investment in R&D and our business capabilities, which will support the creation of more hit models, enhance our brand value, and serve as critical pillars of our business flywheel. 2023 will be another year of rapid development of the NEV industry, and for Li Auto in particular. We have full confidence that we will be able to build an increasingly innovative and diverse model lineup and deliver outstanding products and services that will continue to exceed our users' needs. With that, we'll turn over the call to our CFO, Johnny, for a deep dive into our financial performance.
Thank you, Alicia. Hello, everyone. I will now review some of our 2022 fourth quarter financials. To leave more time for the Q&A session, I will address financial highlights here and encourage you to refer to our earnings press release for more details. Our total revenues in the fourth quarter of 2022 were RMB 17.65 billion, or $2.56 billion, representing an increase of 66.2% year-over-year and an increase of 88.9% quarter-over-quarter. This included RMB 17.27 billion, or $2.5 billion from vehicle sales, which was up 66.4% year-over-year and 90.9% quarter-over-quarter. The increase was mainly attributable to the increase in vehicle deliveries, as well as a higher average selling price due to our delivery of Li L9 starting in late August and Li L8 starting in November. Revenues from other sales and revenues were RMB 381.5 million, or $55.3 million in the fourth quarter, representing an increase of 55.9% year-over-year and an increase of 28.7% quarter-over-quarter. The increase was mainly due to the increased sales of accessories and services in line with higher accumulated vehicle sales. Our cost of sales in the fourth quarter was RMB 14.08 billion, or $2.04 billion, representing an increase of 70.9% year-over-year and an increase of 72.6% quarter-over-quarter. Gross profit in the fourth quarter of 2022 was RMB 3.57 billion, or $517.1 million, growing 49.8% compared with the fourth quarter of last year, and 201.7% compared with the third quarter of this year, of 2022. Our vehicle margin in the fourth quarter of 2022 was 20%, compared with 22.3% in the fourth quarter of 2021 and 12% in the third quarter of 2022. The decrease in vehicle margin over the fourth quarter of 2021 was mainly due to the different product mix between the two quarters. The increase in vehicle margin over the third quarter was mainly attributable to the losses on purchase commitments related to Li One in the third quarter of 2022. Gross margin in the fourth quarter of 2022 was 20.2%, compared with 22.4% in the fourth quarter of 2021 and 12.7% in the third quarter of 2022. Operating expenses in the fourth quarter of 2022 were RMB 3.7 billion, or $536.4 million, representing an increase of 47.1% year-over-year and an increase of 11.7% quarter-over-quarter. R&D expenses in the fourth quarter of 2022 were RMB 2.07 billion, or $300.1 million, up 68.3% year-over-year and 14.7% quarter-over-quarter. The increase was primarily driven by increased expenses to support our expanding product portfolios, as well as increased employee compensation as a result of our growing number of staff. Selling, general, and administrative expenses in the fourth quarter of 2022 were RMB 1.63 billion, or $236.3 million, representing an increase of 44.8% year-over-year and an increase of 8.1% quarter-over-quarter. The increase was primarily driven by increased employee compensation as a result of our growing number of staff, as well as increased rental expenses associated with the expansion of our sales and servicing network. Loss from operations in the fourth quarter of 2022 was RMB 133.6 million, or $19.4 million, compared with RMB 24.1 million income from operations in the fourth quarter of 2021, and representing a decrease of 93.7% from RMB 2.13 billion loss from operations in the third quarter of 2022. Net income in the fourth quarter of 2022 was RMB 265.3 million, or $38.5 million, representing a decrease of 10.2% from RMB 295.5 million net income for the same period in 2021, and compared with RMB 1.65 billion net loss in the third quarter of 2022. Turning to our balance sheet and cash flow. Our balance of cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, time deposits, and short-term investment was RMB 58.45 billion, or $8.47 billion as of December 31st, 2022. Net cash provided by operating activities in the fourth quarter of 2022 was RMB 4.93 billion, or $714.1 million. Free cash flow was RMB 3.26 billion, or $472.3 million in the fourth quarter of 2022. As of December 31st, 2022, we had a total of 19,396 employees. For more of our 2022 full year financials, please refer to our earnings press release for more details. Now for our business outlook. For the first quarter of 2023, the company expects the deliveries to be between 52,000 and 55,000 vehicles, representing an increase of 64% to 73.4% from the first quarter of 2022. company also expects first quarter total revenues to be between RMB 17.45 billion and RMB 18.45 billion, or $2.53 billion and $2.68 billion, representing an increase of 82.5% to 93% from the first quarter of 2022. This business outlook assumes supportive macroeconomic conditions, no significant disruption in the supply chain, and reflects company's current and preliminary view on its business situation and market condition, which is subject to change. I will now turn the call over to the operator to start our Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please press star then one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. If you wish to cancel your request, please press star then two. If you are on a speakerphone, please pick up your handset to ask your question. When asking a question in Chinese, please translate your question in English for the convenience of everyone on the call. The first question today comes from Tim Zai with Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
管理层你好，我是摩根士丹利的 Tim。首先感谢接受我的提问，也恭喜四季度业绩非常亮眼，然后我们 L7 上市也非常的成功。那我这边其实有两个很快的问题啊，第一个是有关于量的啊，就是我们也看到了，就是管理层之前其实有提到，我们 L7 交付之后呢，预期整体的这个月交付呢，可能可以达到2.5万保底。那在这个7跟8Air 版本的交付之后呢，可以达到3万保底的一个目标。那这个交付的增速非常令人印象非常深刻。那是不是可以请管理层进一步分享一下我们对于这个7、8、9整体交付的一个表现的一个判断？那这是基于我们现在新增订单、在手订单呢，或者是我们对于市场规模的一个判断，或者其他因素的一个假设？那大概需要多久时间能够达到如此稳态的一个月交付的一个目标？那我想刚才翔总也提到了，就是和供应商一个非常密切的合作，但是会不会在这样的一个增速之下，供应商这个是不是能够配合？因为我们其实去年也看到了部分零部件像是这个车架或者是部分零部件像空悬交付也遇到一些瓶颈。好，所以是不是可以请您分享一下？So my first question is about the volume outlook. We noticed that previously the management shared the monthly deliveries could at least reach 25,000 after the delivery of L7 started, and with a further climb to 30,000 after the Air versions of L7, 8 are available. So just want to double confirm that how we come up with such a strong target. Are they based on the pace of the new order intake, order backlog, or our assessment of total addressable market of 5, 6 seaters SUV? And how fast could Li Auto's monthly deliveries reach and stabilize at such level? And more importantly, could the supply chain coordinately ramp up their output at such a rapid pace? 好，所以这是我的第一个问题，谢谢。
好，那我来回答吧。然后我觉得第一个问题，然后我们给出的这个2.5万辆和3万辆的这样的一个内部的一个预测，我们自己会争取，然后在2季度能够实现。因为4月份会是我们的 L7， 然后 Pro 和 Max 的第一个完整的交付月，然后5月份也会是我们的 Air 的产品的第一个完整的交付月。对，所以这是回答的第一个问题。
So 25 to 30,000 orders is our internal goal, and we expect to reach this level in Q2 because April is the first full month where we deliver the L7 Pro and Max, and May will be the first month where we deliver the Air version of L7 and L8.
对，那我的第二个问题，然后从整个的产能爬坡方面呢，我觉得我们在2022年，然后下半年还是遇到了一些问题，比如说我们的整个的交付计划有的时候会过于激进，我们认为我们卖出去这么多订单，我们就应该然后交付出这样的一个量，但是呢，这对整个的供应链的然后压力是非常之大的。对，那另外一方面呢，在去年的然后下半年，我们从 然后卖单一车型其实变成了卖多款车型，然后我们的整个的销售服务网络的体系然后支撑，然后也面临很大的挑战，所以我们在去年的4季度和今年的1季度已经开始了这样的流程的升级，对，从而确保我们的产品研发，然后我们的销售服务和我们的供应制造，对，在整个的全流程然后实现一个高质量，包含规划层面，包含计划层面，然后包含整个的实际的然后交付层面，对，那我觉得这会给我们带来什么好处呢？就第一，然后资源的分配更加合理，然后第二，然后员工的工作也更有成就感，然后第三，也会显著的提升我们供应商合作伙伴的效率，对，所以呢，这是跟我们过去然后做一款车型，然后我们在整个的流程和能力方面，然后做的一个根本性的改变和升级。
So second question about our ramp up. Admittedly, we experienced some issues in the second half of 2022 with our deliveries, and we attribute it really to two things. One is because we had to set a very aggressive delivery goal because we were seeing really good order intake. So that placed a lot of pressure on the supply chain. And the second cause was we were switching from a single model to multiple models, which again placed a lot of pressure on our sales and service networks. So across Q4 and Q1 of this year, we have been going through a long process of upgrading our sales and service and manufacturing systems, so that now we have a very robust system all the way from planning to delivery to manufacturing and sales, so that we can handle really the stress that comes in with our strong order intake. And that really helps us to make three things a lot better. The first one is resource allocation. We could really allocate the best resource to where it's most needed. And the second one is our employees will feel more fulfilled as they achieve these goals. And third is that it also applied suppliers to reach higher efficiency on their side.
好的，非常清楚了，谢谢张总分享。那我第二个问题是有关于电池采购跟我们对于今年可能整车利润的一个的贡献。因为我们看到今年电池降价是一个大概率的事件，那市场之前也有看到有关于电池大厂降价的一个消息，那并且预期这个与这个市场领先的新能源车的品牌包括理想签订一个长期的战略合作。那想问问管理层怎么看待如此电池降价以及长期战略这个绑定呢，对于集团今年整体的这个新车毛利率的一个贡献。那基于我们对于这个电池成本跟价格的判断呢，那我们大概在什么时间节点会看到新车的毛利率会相较于目前的一个水平有个比较明显的上升以及这个我们对于全年一个潜在贡献的这个规模的一个预测这是第二个问题。So my second question is about battery procurement costs and the potential impact to the margin. We saw strong likelihood that battery prices would continue the downtrend this year. And previously, local media also reported like Cato and likely others are rallying to offer some aggressive pricing in exchange for long-term contracts from Li Autos and other top-notch EV makers. So could the management team comment on the potential collaboration with battery makers, and how should we think about the contribution to Li Autos' vehicle margin improvement in the following quarters in terms of scale and timing versus current level?
你好，提姆，我是马东辉，我来回答这个问题。无论是锂矿让利还是原材料和电池价格的一个联动机制，我们认为如果是能够让电池的价格回到一个理性区间，这个对于提升新能源汽车市场的竞争力以及的话市场占有率，我们认为的话都是非常好的消息。无论是说对于动力电池厂，还是说对于新能源整车厂。
So in terms of battery pricing, there are many factors at play, including the lead mines and battery pricing mechanisms. But in general, our belief is that as battery costs continues to approach a more reasonable level, we think it's good for the industry, not only for us as OEMs, but also for suppliers and battery manufacturers.
随着我们新车型越来越多，销量的提升，然后动力电池的话，作为新能源汽车非常重要的系统，那长期来看的话，对于理想汽车也是需要多家电池供应商多元化的一个供应策略。那一方面的话是为了满足供应安全性， 另外一方面是为了满足项目的开发进度。
So as we expand to more models and as our sales continue to ramp up, we believe battery is a very strategic asset, and we will continue to commit to a multi-supplier strategy for two reasons. One is for not only for the stability of our supply chain, but also to meet the time requirements for developing multiple models at the same time.
长远来看的话，整个动力电池回归理性还是大势所趋。然后作为电池的重要原材料，碳酸锂的价格前2天的话达到了40万每吨。那整个电池的价格回落的话，是一个必然。那目前的话，我们跟合作伙伴这个价格还在谈判中，目前的话还没有更多信息的话可以透露。
In the long term, we believe that battery prices will continue to move towards a more reasonable level. As you can see in the past few days, the price of lithium carbonate has already reached about 400,000 RMB per ton, and we believe the long-term trend is still for the price to go down. And we'll continue to work with suppliers to negotiate a good term, but there's not much details I can share at this point.
好，非常感谢蒋总和董伟总的分享。Thank you very much for the detailed update. Thank you.
The next question comes from Paul Gong with UBS. Please go ahead.
谢谢管理层接受我的提问啊。我的第一个问题可能是关于那个毛利率的，因为我们看到这个季度的车的毛利率的话是在20个点，这个比我们之前1季度、2季度交这个理想ONE交到尾期的时候，这毛利率还略微低一点刚才呢李铁总也提到了，这个是因为产品结构的一个变化，但我的理解来说的话，就是说这个季度有超过1半的这种贡献都是来自于 L9，我感觉 L9的这毛利率应该是高于整体吧，就不知道这是在刚开始交付的时候还没有达到预期呢，还是就说整体的2代平台相对于1代平台上面的这个设计的毛利率并没有相应的这个提升。So my first question is regarding the gross margin. I think for this quarter, the vehicle gross margin has been 20.0%, which is about 1 percentage point lower than second quarter and 2 percentage points lower than first quarter. I think just now Mr. Li has mentioned it was due to the product mix change, but my understanding is L9 contributed about 60% of the volume for this quarter, which should be positive for the margin. Is that due to the initial ramping up stage, or is there any other reasons you can share? This is my first question.
Thank you, Paul. This is Johnny from the company. First, the gross margin is healthy and consistent with our guidance. And starting from the fourth quarter, our revenue and gross margin, gross profit is a mix of different product offerings. And the majority of the sales volume comes from the L9 and the L8, and both products is under the ramping up period. As you know, our supply chain need to ramp up with that for some period and to release the gross margin, the cost down in coming quarters. And our L series platform, the overall gross margin is 25% with material delivery in the future, monthly delivery. Thank you.
谢谢。那我第二个问题是关于就是说我们接下来的这种纯电动的一个计划，可能要到今年下半年的时候才出来那我们目前为止就是说在增程上面取到了非常大的成功，就是在大型的 SUV 为家庭所打造大型 SUV 上边那对于我们的一个纯电动来说我们从一个叫定位来说，还有从我们的是否能够完成相应的对应的这个增程的一个类似的一个毛利率同时维持一个竞争力来说，这个我们是如何的去思考呢应该说 我们可能主打点的话是在快充这上边，但目前为止就是说也有同行的800伏快充的这个中大型 SUV，到目前为止并没有达到一个相应的一个效果啊。那我们如何从这里面去吸收教训，然后让我们的这个快充的 MPV 产品有相应的一个竞争力呢？So my second question is regarding to your upcoming pure electric, perhaps on MPV. I understand the selling point might be fast charging, but we also see some competitors, some peers, fast charging BEV models recently launched didn't really meet the expectation. So how should we define our products by maintaining the competitiveness while trying to achieve certain margins that is hopefully comparable to our existing ELEV products?
那我来回答这个问题吧。我觉得刚才讲的其实是从三个层面上而言，因为其实我们在使用增程的时候，然后其实就是要解决2个核心的问题。第一个是电池成本高，然后第二个其实然后充电难，对，包含充电速度慢这样的问题。所以我们采用了其实大电池的增程的策略，城市用电，长途发电。对，那我们要去解决我们的然后纯电动车的产品，其实思考要解决的问题其实一样的。所以我觉得第一个，然后我们能不能提供然后这种10分钟400公里接近燃油车的然后充电体验是非常关键的。但这里边还有一个背后的关键点，就类似手机一样的，我们提供了4G 网络，对，支持4G 网络的手机，但是呢，我们不能让用户运行在2G 网络上，对，所以呢，基础设施的然后跟进，对于我们而言其实是至关重要的。所以这是解决了这个充电难、充电速度慢的问题。我觉得第二个是成本的问题，对，那我们为什么要用800伏？然后为什么要自建然后碳化硅的模块的工厂？对，是因为我们然后只要在这个整个的动力驱动层面的然后效率的提升，再配合我们的车型的然后研发的提升，然后我们现在然后实测的然后一个实际结果就是跟同样的400伏的主流的 IGBT 的然后相同驱动方式的产品相比的话，我们大概可以节省15%的电池电量。对，那这个对于成本而言是个有非常非常显著的一个优势。对，我说这是可以给大家回答的2个，第一个是我们怎么去解决然后充电难的问题，充电慢的问题，第二个是我们怎么解决电池成本然后成本高，对，电池然后过重的这样的一个问题。对，那剩下的其实就是实际的产品了。那我们相信我们推出的每一款纯电动车的产品，然后能够给用户带来的这种产品，然后和这种体验上的然后这个需求的超越，然后应该不会亚于我们的然后任何一款 L 系列的产品。
So I'll answer this question on 3 levels. So I'll start off with why we decided to build REVs in the first day. It was really 2 things, right? One is because battery costs were very high, and second was charging was difficult at the time for electric vehicles. It was not only difficult to find charging stations, but also very slow to charge. So moving over to EVs, we also intend to solve the 3 issues. The first one is about charging. With REVs, our strategy has been to use gas on highways and use electricity in the local environment. So EV, we solve the same issue by charging rapidly, charging 400 kilometers of range in 10 minutes, which is very comparable to gas cars. But that's not the complete picture. It's like when we had 4G mobile phones, but if we don't only have 2G networks, it still wouldn't work. So another piece of the puzzle is infrastructure. So with car-bound charging capabilities and infrastructure, we are able to provide a level of charging experience comparable to REVs or gas vehicles. And second one is cost. As you can see, we've invested a lot on our 800-volt high-voltage architecture, as well as our own in-house silicon carbide factory. And many of these innovations combined allow us to significantly increase the efficiency of our EV architecture. Compared to 400-volt IGBT systems, we observed almost 15% of energy efficiency compared to similar models on the 400-volt architecture. And that saves a significant amount of battery and therefore cost of the vehicle. And the third level I want to talk about is product. I can assure you that on our EV product lineup, we will be able to provide a similar level of product and experience differentiation that significantly exceed our user expectations, even more so than our REV models.
好的，非常感谢 ，Thank you so much.
The next question comes from Wang Bin with Credit Suisse. Please go ahead.
谢谢各位领导，我有2个问题。第一个关于 L7 的订单，那公司其实给了一个25000跟那个3万的那个时间表，能不能假设就是 L7 Air 这款产品呢，就会有每个月5000的订单，根据这个指引的差距。第二个呢，就是是否现在看到 L7 整体的订单已经超过了 L8 跟 L9 的总和，因为好像市场上有看到就是流量是这样的，所以想跟您确认一下 L7 目前的订单的情况，这是第一个问题。第二个问题我想请教一下关于这个利润率，因为其实我是想往回看一下，就是4季度到底有哪些因素导致了利润率基本和3季度的那个持平的。那么我自己想了一个是那个锂矿其实涨了大概10万块钱每吨，从40多万涨到50多万，是否这是第一个因素？第二个因素是否是因为每个月还卖了1000多台这个理想 ONE 呢？那这个是否清库存每台车有一个几万块钱的促销，能不能量化一下？最后呢，就是那个新产品往往在前5万台的时候都有一个价格的成本的一个高点嘛，那么5万台之后呢，是不是会大幅下降？那么如果是这样的话呢，我们能不能指引一下1季度23年的毛利率的一个趋势，大概能够变化多少？好，我翻译一下。Actually got 2 questions. Number 1 is about the L7 order. Per your guidance, you say that before the L7 Air version, you got 25,000 units sales, but after that, you got 30,000 units, which means will be 5K from the L7 Air. So can I assume the overall L7 will be bigger than the total order flow for L8 and L9? That's the first question about the order flow for L7. And the second question about the margin, I actually try to quantify the margin impact in the number 4 quarter because we see a few factors. Number 1 is that the lithium price actually increasing quite big in the number 4 quarter compared to number 3, increasing from 400,000 units RMB per ton to more than 500,000 RMB per ton. Is that going to be the number 1 reason? Number 2 is about the promotion for the Li1. We saw that in the last quarter last year, each month we sell around 1,000 units on Li1. So is that to create an inventory? The second reason why the margin did not increase. And third one is about the component supply. Normally for car maker in the first certain month, say 50K, you actually have a higher cost. After 50K, you have lower cost. So that's the reason I'm trying to understand what's the margin trend in the first quarter next year, 2023. Thank you.
Okay, Wang Bin, this is Li. I will take your question. First, I think for the new L7, as usual, we still need some time to ramp up. For the Q1 guidance, we include several thousand L7. Most of the delivery will still be L9 and L8. And as we mentioned, April or May will be the whole month we deliver our L series, including Air. So we have some Air order, but as you know, the Air version test drive hasn't started. So a lot of the customer need to do test drive. So the mix, just like those survey, you can see from the Weibo. And for the second question, I think all the factors you mentioned was the factor that makes our 20% gross margin in the fourth quarter. And all this as a whole just impact about 2% of the margin. So I think I don't want to break it into too much detail. And for this year, considering the market condition, we still want to keep our guidance to be above 20%. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The next question comes from Mingzhu Li with Bank of America. Please go ahead.
各位理想的领导，大家好。我这边就2个问题。第一个问题呢，是关于这个上海地区的这个牌照的这个限牌的问题，绿牌的问题。那想了解一下，因为去年那个时候领导有提到说，整个的这个上海地区的这个销售占比大概是占了5% 左右。那想了解一下，现在新的这个绿牌政策的话，大概上海现在占我们的比重大概多少？然后如果从1、2月这边看到的订单的话，有多少是我们这个消费者是用这个他原来的这个旧牌来换新牌，因为我们这个上海地区应该是旧换新的话有一个1万块的一个补贴嘛，想了解一下就是这个比例，这是我的第一个问题。So my first question is regarding the license plate policy change in Shanghai. So what is the sales contribution from Shanghai City in 2022 and 2023? And among that, how many percentage of the consumers this year they use their current license plate to buy our product? 所以这是我的第一个问题。那第二个问题呢，是关于还是想跟管理层这边更新一下这个今年跟明年的一个产品的策略，因为之前应该管理层有提到今年应该是来不及出这个 L6 了。那想了解一下，今年是不是还是会按照时间去出这个纯电的 MPV， 还是也不一定？那另外也可不可以请管理层这边讲一下明年的一个大概的一个产品的一个 pipeline？ 那我们是不是增程的话都是 L6、7、8、9，然后之后的话就是都是纯电的产品？那纯电产品是不是也开始会出这个轿车产品？那我会翻译一下我的第二个问题。So my second question is regarding your product pipeline. So first question, will you launch the BEV this year for the MPV? And also for your new product pipeline, L6 L6 be launched in next year, and also for the besides L6 next year for the BEV product, will you start to launch more other product, for example such like SUV or sedan? 谢谢，这是我2个问题。
行，我分开回答，然后我是李想，我先回答然后第一个问题。那从上海的来看呢，1月份的话，其实然后订单会比较差，为什么呢？因为然后主要的这个销量在10月份、12月份被提前释放了，对，那2月份已经开始非常显著的开始来恢复了。那我们自己的然后预测挺简单，因为我们看这个目标的制定，还有实际的达成，主要是看市场占有率。所以我们自己的判断，然后上海会跟北京非常类似，就是在就是除去了然后绿牌购买以外的这个市场里边，对，我们会获得跟北京然后相近的市场份额。对，所以呢，这是我们的然后对于上海的然后一个预判，也就是在所有的拿燃油车牌照买的这群体里边，我们会获得一个然后这个跟北京相同表现的一个市场份额。对，这是回答的第一个问题。
In terms of orders, in Shanghai, the January order flow was not very good. And that was understandable because most of the demand was released in November and December last year. But we have seen a very significant recovery since February. And over the long term, we look at this issue from a market share standpoint. And we believe that steady state market share in Shanghai will be comparable to that in Beijing, because going forward, in either of these markets, our EV purchase will be incentivized by free license plates. So we think Shanghai will eventually move towards a market share similar to that in Beijing.
然后第二个问题，其实我们的旗舰产品的发布的时间和交付的具体时间，其实跟一些最关键的技术其实是绑定的。有的时候其实我们产生一些延期，主要是为了绑定最先进的技术，比如说会在今年年底发生的，然后一个重要的一个升级就是高通的8295，所以我们本身其实跟然后高通8295的然后关键的整个的开发进度、开发策略和整个的软件然后释放的进度其实都是息息相关的，否则我不能发布一款旗舰产品，其实在用着其实上一代然后这个旗舰芯片的一个尾声，那这个对我们其实非常难受，所以这是我们然后这个合理的发布时间的然后背后的然后一个原因。对，我们必须得使用最先进的然后旗舰级的然后芯片产品和芯片技术。对，所以这是一个层面。那另外一个层面，其实 后边的话，然后我们针对纯电动车型，然后也会推出，然后类似 L 系列一样的，然后系列型的一个产品，从而也是能够有效的满足20万到50万这个价格区间，然后广泛的然后家庭用户的需求。
First of all, in terms of flagship EV product, the timing of the product release is highly tied to the cycle of technology innovations. And in particular, in this case, at the end of this year, there will be a big milestone where Qualcomm will be releasing their A295 chips. So the delay in our EV product is highly tied to this because we want to meet the development cycle so that we can release our flagship vehicle with the new chip as early as possible. We cannot have our flagship model and only carry the last generation chip when it comes to market. And the second one, in terms of the EV lineup, the EV lineup will basically mirror something similar to what we have with the L series, which fully covers the 200 to 500,000 RMB price range.
谢谢李强总 ，Thank you.
The next question comes from Yingbo Zhu with CITICS. Please go ahead.
感谢我接受我的提问。我的第一个问题呢是说，刚才有提到我们的目标是在30万到50万的这个 SUV 市场拿到2%的 market share。我不知道我们的测算对不对，就是大概是不是对应的一个月大概接近3.5万辆的一个销量。那我这个量，我不知道我们算的是不是这个合理。那么这个追的问题就是说，我们是如何得到的这个20%的预期的销量，以及刚才其实提到了2个 range， 一个是30到50万，一个是20到50万。那么我们如何看待20到30万的这个市场？这是我的第一个问题。My first question comes from, it is just now we mentioned that we aim to get a 20% market share on the SUV market with a price from between 300,000 to 500,000. So my question is that how we have confidence in this market share, and could you please talk a little bit more on how we consider about the market of SUV between the price 200,000 to 300,000. This is my first question. Thank you.
我觉得是这样的。然后我觉得，然后我们在2022年，然后在30至50万的 SUV 的市场份额，然后是9.5%。对，那今年的话，我们对这个市场的一个预测，对，然后大概会是在140万辆到150万辆之间。对，那我们对自己的要求是份额要翻倍。而且呢，当我们做到20%市场份额的时候，我们会比较稳定的，会做到这个级别的，然后 SUV， 然后销量的一个品牌的一个冠军。对，这是我们制定目标的一个方式。那我觉得其实20万到30万的市场，对我们而言其实难度是更大的。对，我们需要有更强的规模效应以后，然后再进入到20到30万的这样的一个价格区间。
First one about the 300,000-500,000 price range. We were at a market share of 9.5% last year, as you mentioned. And this year, we expect the whole market size to be between 1.4 to 1.5 million units. And our goal is to double the share because we believe at 20% share is where we could reasonably steadily stay as the brand champion. And that's kind of how our goal came about. The 200 to 300 market is a lot more competitive. So our plan is to approach the market at a second stage where we have much greater economy of scale and stronger core competencies.
谢谢。我的第二个问题呢，就是看到最近这段时间，那么海外驱动的 AI 技术的进展，在国内也有很多帮助。那么受到这种预训练的实际上它会对很多行业产生一些影响。那我们想知道从具体到我们所在的这个赛道上，关于车的自动驾驶或者是车内的智能，以及就是用车的各种体验上，从长周期看，可能会带来哪些潜力，以及中短周期作为用户和消费者，是不是会有一些具体的能够改善用户体验的变化可以预期到？My second question is that considering the considering the pre-trained transformer AI technology has influenced in different sectors, in different industries. So my question is, how will that impact auto industry we are working now, and in future, how can that influence? And for the consumers, for the users, what kind of change we can experience in short? Thank you.
Hello, Yingbo. This is Yan. Let me take your question. We have invested in the development of AI-based cognitive technologies for quite a long time, especially the conversational AI and the gesture recognition. We think they are very important in smart space and will give our customers very good user experience. So recently, we are paying close attention to ChatGPT, and we think the technology behind like large language models and pre-trained models are very similar to what we are doing right now in smart space. So we also believe that these technologies have good potentials in visual tasks like self-driving, and the related study and development is still in progress.
Appreciate.
The next question comes from Yuquan Ding with HSBC. Please go ahead.
各位管理层好，我是汇丰的雨倩。那我其实很多问题之前都已经覆盖了，那我只想追问一个问题。我们目前的3款 SUV 车型之间的版本价格其实有一些重合，那请教管理层如何看待就是可能潜在的这个产品之间的互相蚕食。那么如果我们3款车型的稳态的这个销量在2万到3万的这个区间之内的话，那我们的这个利润率水平相对应的是大概怎样的一个范围？因为考虑到我们的3款产品可能成本这个贡献的这个部分比较多，那是不是其实2万以上利润率就会非常好，然后3万会更好？那中间大概可能的这个 range 的差异是2个点还是5个点？可不可以方向上给大家指引一下？I only got one question. Is that within our current 3 SUV model portfolio, how do we evaluate the potential cannibalization? Given by different versions of different models, the pricing points overlap, and should these 3 models combined sales between per month 20K to 30K, what's the roughly the margin range we would expect given these 3 SUV models have the shared cost base?
那我来回答第一个问题啊。那其实然后 L7 和 L8 然后面向的用户群在我们的实际的这个交付的过程中其实非常清晰的，然后有交叉需求的用户量其实然后并没有想象那么多。L7 的用户更加趋向于其实3口之家，对，然后2口之家这样的。L8 其实要么是2胎，要么其实3代同堂，然后这样的一个需求，甚至 L7 的这个受关注程度也带动了 L8 订单量的一个增长。其实然后 L7、L8、L9 的有效的价格覆盖，然后其实是我们想构建的一个不仅仅是个产品线，而是一个产品的网。我们希望其实任何一个然后在30万到50万之间，然后的家庭的 SUV 用户的需求，我们都能够满足。我们希望用户犹豫的是选 L7 还是选 L8， 或者是选 L9 还是选 L8， 而并不希望其实然后用户拿我们的车，然后最终去选了别的品牌。我觉得这是我们的最核心的然后产品线的然后这样的一个策略。
In fact, in practice, we've seen very clear user base differentiation between L7 and L9, L8. There hasn't been as much overlap as we had been expecting. As we've seen in showrooms, the L7 is really attracting families with 2 to 3 members, 1 kid, and L8 is attracting either families with 2 kids or those that have 3 generations under the same roof. And another good thing is that the interest in L7 has also helped us fuel orders for L8. So with L8, L7, and L9, we really formed as not just a product line, but in fact a product network. We want any family who's willing to buy an SUV will come to our network and think about whether it's L7 or L8 or L8 or L9 that they should buy, rather than comparing us to other brands and pick which brand to buy. That has been our core product philosophy with the product lineup of L7, L8, and L9.
Okay. For the gross margin, as we just mentioned, for the L series platform with all this product offering and with some scalability, the design gross profit is profit margin is 35%. Considering this year's battery price and also the macroeconomic, we still want to keep our guidance just about 20%. Thank you.
There are no further questions at this time. I'll now hand back to Ms. Zhang for any closing remarks.
Thank you once again for